Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much. I know it's really incredibly ridiculous. For me, it's really ridiculous that we're sitting here today listening, actually, to this incredibly thoughtful presentation and report from you about all the ways we can make government work better for our families. But tomorrow, my colleagues, my Republican colleagues, are actually going to ignore all of that. They're going to ignore all of your thoughtful and, you know, very investigative, thorough report of looking how we can serve our communities better. And so it's alarming to me because I don't know if you know this, Mr. Dodaro, like our phones have been off the hook of people just increased anxiety, fear of what's going to happen. Many parents who have special needs children who just can't imagine, you know, Medicaid care and health services are being cut. Another person who has access to Affordable Care Act is saying, I can't believe they're thinking about allowing that to increase, I think, an average by $600. I, you know, understand from your report, some of the biggest challenges in delivering for our families, for the people that we represent here, stems from staffing shortages, right? And skill gaps that make it very difficult to be effective in delivering disaster assistance. I believe your report said you were about responding to public health emergencies and keeping groceries safe to eat, food safe to eat. Is that correct?
That's correct. 20 of the 38 areas are on there in part because of skill gaps and shortages.
So you're talking about we don't have enough people.
In some cases, that's true, but in most cases, it's having the right skills necessary to do it. It's both. It's both.
I mean, for me, this is, you know, a lot of my colleagues talk about like, oh, Elon Musk is about making more money. I actually think he just likes experimenting, and he's experimenting with us, the American people. It's like a huge experiment and a game or something of that sort. I mean, one day they turn the lights off in one department, the next day they turn it back on. I mean, we're talking about like Head Start programs that didn't even get access to the portal until like a couple, I think this past week. That, you know, and these are folks that are offering services already, right? They already rendered the services and they're trying to get reimbursed by us. So do you think, I mean, this experiment, Elon Musk's experiment of indiscriminately firing hundreds of thousands of federal employees working on these key issues will make a positive impact in addressing some of these life and death challenges?
Yeah, I think there's a need for more efficiency in government. I want to be clear about that, and I do think.
Yeah, I agree. They should start with the Pentagon budget, but okay.
Yeah, well, it's across the board in government. I think you could be more efficient, but you have to approach it in a more thoughtful, deliberative process.
But Mr. Dodaro, don't you think they're hiding behind efficiency? They're saying it's efficiency, but it's irresponsibility. It's chaotic.
Yeah, it's not my job to decide.
I know
motive,
that you could, but
you know,
think
but
about
I
it,
don't,
Mr. Dodaro.
I don't know.
One day they say, okay, all these folks are fired. The next day they say, okay, you can come back.
Well, that's, as I said, that's not a good practice. I mean, I think. Well, the good part about it is they recognized it and they brought them back.
Yeah, but
right
even
away.
when they try to turn the lights back on, it's flickering.
I think you need to take a more deliberative process. The one thing I've learned, I've been auditing the federal bureaucracy for 50 years, that you need to find out what's the reason why things are the way they are before you change it. Usually there's a good reason, but not often. But you need to know the answer to that question before you start making changes. Otherwise, you have unintended consequences.
I mean, do you know what they did today? Do you know?
No, I've been here all day.
No, because I think it's important. But you know what they did today? They let go 28 veteran workers. So VA, John Dingell VA in Detroit. It's a veteran hospital. They let go 28 employees. I called. I said, what did they do? Like, I asked simple questions. I don't know if they're doing that. What did they do? Do you know what they did? Most of them were the people that worked in cleaning the surgical equipment. Do you know that we had a audit of the VA? Yeah. You know about this, right?
Yeah, well, we did.
People died.
We did
Mr. Dodaro,
yeah.
did people die at the John Dingell VA hospital because we didn't have people cleaning the surgical equipment? Yes or no?
Right. Yeah, yes, that's about.
So they just let go all these people. So you're telling me my veterans are going to go under a knife and we don't know if somebody's cleaning the surgical equipment?
And this was a particular problem with colonoscopy.
How is that efficiency? He's experimenting with the lives of our constituents and our residents. You want to come here, he should come here voluntarily. If they won't allow us to subpoena him and answer our questions. What are the reasons behind you letting go these folks behind, again, essential services? That's not efficiency. It's irresponsible. It's almost negligent. It's chaos. Mr. Dodaro, your service is welcomed because we believe we want to be effective in delivering for our families. We do. But this is not the way to do it. And I really do thank you for your service. I know it's a long way and it must be so frustrating. God, watching this last few weeks must be just unbelievable for you. For us, hearing our residents in tears has been painful. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
Thank you so much. And